Well, hello. Good Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator stream. We are here in Washington, Ronald Reagan Washington National. We're going to be flying this A320, which I'll be honest, I have not flown the A320 for quite a while. And the reason why I chose the A320 is because I'm finalizing my trip to the Expo for June. And it looks like we'll be taking JetBlue. And JetBlue flies at 320 and 321. So I have to get out of that 319 for at least a flight. And we'll see how things go. Obviously, they are very similar in planes. This one just a little bit longer. So we'll have to see how I do on that touchdown for the flight. We're going to be flying into Boston because Boston is where I'm going to be flying into. And then I'm going to take the train down south into Providence, Rhode Island for the expo itself. So, super excited. You just got the MCD. How cool. Oh, you got to order last night. All right, cool. The sim build continues. I'm really jealous of your setup. Really, really cool setup. I thought I was going to be really excited for the MCDU. But I don't know. Like, I don't feel I use it enough to make use of it. So I'm going to put it on the order of maybe next Christmas or maybe in May with my birthday, a present from my wife. Just because I feel like I'm not going to take as much advantage as I would like to. And I don't want to spend all that kind of money on that kind of G's. But it's really cool. It's really cool. And maybe when the iFly or the PMDG comes out, maybe that will like get me super excited and I'll end up getting the 737 one. So we'll see. Okay, so anyways, so yeah, we're going from Washington, we're going to Boston, we're in the 320, we're in JetBlue land, we're using the recently updated Beyondatc. Update came out, was it last night or this morning? I think it was last night. And a host of cool things. One thing that is really, really awesome that I asked another developer way months ago that they incorporate even though they don't have traffic in their ATC, is the phrase "take off immediately," or what's it called? What would be on ATC say? They said something like "clear for takeoff, expedited," or something like that. Just to move your ass, like get going. And that's something I asked another developer to do, and he's like, "Oh, it's a great idea," and then nothing ever happened. So hey, Beyondatc beat him to the punch, and I didn't even give any info. So the Phoenix, tap. We're going to import our flight plan. As you see, Washington to Boston. Load in the passengers and the cargo and fuel, I guess. And let's calculate this guy. All right, let's go on top here. So obviously setting up the 320 is about the same way, actually the same way as setting up the 319. So nothing out of my comfort zone there. All right, now you got to go away. Thank you. And yeah, no delay. Thank you. No delay. Yeah, the FCU and the EF. I use the FCU all the time. The EFIS I use as well, but I knew that I wasn't going to use it as much, so I didn't want to spend the money personally on it. So my wife spent the money on it instead. All right, so we got that all set. Let's go to config, manual, nav. Scroll on down here and let's get these IRSs aligned. All right, FMG is good to go. So init, request it. Oh, why did my camera go back? J, so I used APL for the first time in 6 months last night. I did a short little haul, Cuba to the Dominican Republic. And, it's great. APL is great. It's fantastic. The only thing, though, is I use MobiFlight as well. I keep forgetting to upgrade this, update it. And I'll show you here in a second, but I don't have it on right now, and this is not an APL flight. But it was clicking the increments of 1 to 1,000. So there's a switch in there. It's something that's goofing it up. With FC, what is it? FCUI PC. There's something that's goofing that up. I don't need this no more. Send that to the McDo, and send that to the McDo. All right, up top I heard the APU rolling. Yep, good to go. Bleeds, external power off. Let's disconnect all this jazz so we won't forget. Let's go on back on down here and click this button. Okay, all looking good there. All looking good. Flaps 3 for departure. We're expecting runway 1 for departure via the Suki 5. Good old Suki. And Swan transition. We're going to Boston. Boston, we're expecting 3-3 left. The ILS 3-3 left via the Roebuck 3 arrival. Done this many of times. Via JFK. I normally do the Merit, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see if things change with Beyond ATC. They give us different instructions. And set that there. Good. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to let the comms all be handled today by Copilot. And clearance is on 12825. Good to go. Let's get our clearance, shall we?
JetBlue 516, on our way to Logan Airport.
Jazz 783, Washington clearance, cleared to Toronto Pearson. Porto 4 departure with the Jarvis transition, then as filed. Climb via SID departure frequency 118.9 or 5, squawk 2554.
Cleared to Toronto Pearson. Porto 4 departure with the Jerry's transition, then is filed. Climb via SID. Departure frequency 118.9.
I wonder why some airports just don't show up right here.
2554. Jazz 783.
Gotten pretty good at estimating.
783, readback correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for push or start.
Ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. Jazz 783.
So right here, this 101,000, it kept on going.
JetBlue 516, Washington clearance, cleared to Logan. Suki 5 departure with the Swan transition, then as filed. Climb via SID. Departure frequency 118.9 or 5, squawk 6405.
All right, so that's our transition. We expected that. Runway 1. Yep.
Suki 5 departure with the Swan transition, then as filed. Climb via SID. Departure frequency 118.9 or 5, squawk 6405. JetBlue 516.
JetBlue 516, readback correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for push or start.
Ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. JetBlue 516, have a good one.
Have a good one. All right, so we are cleared for push in. Well, not cleared yet. We're getting our pushback.
JetBlue 516 at gate 30, request pushback.
JetBlue 516, Washington ground, pushback approved. Face east.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face east, JetBlue 516.
I know you're technically not supposed to do this yet, but I like to do it because I also forget. All right, engine 2 is coming on board. Let's get a clock going as well. So yeah, this on the EFIS here, not the EFIS, FCU, it would flip back and forth every couple seconds. I didn't notice it right away. I heard the clicking. Climb via the SID. So I don't know
Runway 1 taxi
why.
via Papa. Kilo Bravo Alpha Juliet Charlie. Hold short runway 4.
But that is why I'm
Runway 1 taxi via Papa.
not going to do
Kilo
APL
Bravo Alpha Juliet
until I
Charlie.
figure out what that
Hold
issue
short
is.
runway 4, Jazz
But it's a great flight.
783.
Great flight. How'd I do for my lineup here? A little off. Not bad for estimation, huh? Alright, engine 2 good to go. Engine 1 coming on board. And let's go max there. Flaps 3. Let's go to get our taxi.
JetBlue 516, taxi for departure.
JetBlue 516, runway 1 taxi via Kilo 2 Juliet. Hold
Kilo
short
2
runway 4.
Juliet. Hold short
Runway
4.
1 taxi via Kilo 2, Juliet. Hold short runway 4, JetBlue 516.
Alright, we have our taxi clearance. I'm just waiting for engine 1 to come on board. It'd be cool if we get that no delay today.
Cross runway 4 at Alpha. Continue taxi via Alpha Juliet Charlie. Cross runway 4 at Alpha. Continue taxi via Alpha. Juliet, Charlie, Jazz 783.
Fry, welcome in. I'm back to my normal time today. This is kind of a unplanned stream.
Southwest 781, Washington ground, pushback approved. Face
Alright,
east.
engine 1 is on board, available, all good to go. All calls, APU lead masters off, go on down here, takeoff config, good to go.
Jazz 783, contact Washington
A lot of
Tower
traffic this morning here in Washington.
Over to Tower 119.1, Jazz 783, take care.
Good time for me. I like doing the morning ones. One, because I'm home alone, my wife's at work, so I feel like I don't have to, I can scream if I want to. I'm just not bothering her, when she's home. And at night after work, get off of work after working, whatever, 7-8 hours. Just, tired of talking. Wednesday though, next Wednesday, I'll probably stream normal time, but maybe a little longer. I don't have a whole lot planned that day. I have a day off. Alright, so we're going down here, Juliet, holding short runway 4. We'll cross runway 4 and take it all the way to continue on Juliet, I assume. I don't think they'll have us go Echo.
Southwest 781, ready to taxi to the active.
Alright, so let's see if we get our clearance before we get there.
Jet Blue
Yep.
516, cross runway 4 at Juliet. Continue taxi via Papa, Bravo, Alpha, Juliet, Charlie.
What?
Cross runway 4 at Juliet. Continue taxi via Papa, Bravo, Alpha, Juliet, Charlie, JetBlue 516.
No, it was having us go all the way around here. So something screwed up in the logistics there. But we're ending at Charlie. Charlie? Yeah. Something got screwed up in the last update for this airport. Because there is Echo and Juliet. Juliet's up here.
Washington Tower 119.1.
Contact Tower 119.1. JetBlue 516, have a good day.
Alright, here we are. Alright, we got announcements still going, so we'll hold for a second. I see some YouTubers are crashing in Msfs 2024, so how has your experience been? I haven't had a crash in the sim ever. 2024, I don't think. Recently, sometime this week, Wednesday, Tuesday, it crashed on loading, like the initial load into the sim. But that's happened once in a great while, maybe 3-4 times. Irishman, good morning. How goes it? Looking into getting this ATT for Msfs 2040. A lot of bugs still exist. Yeah, the Beyondatc is freaking awesome. I feel like I made a poor decision initially going to another program, wasting time in that one. This has just been so stable, so consistent. They focus on the core. It's been great. It's been great. FS HUD too is also really, really good. I prefer the voices in Beyondatc. The vectors, sometimes the vectors in taxi and stuff like that sometimes are better in FS HUD or sometimes better in Beyondatc. It's kind of a mixed bag between them. But either way, they're both really, really good. Just sometimes one does, but sometimes one does it better than the other. Heard his loss. Are we clear yet? I can hear the beep. Right. Oh, there we go.
JetBlue 516, ready to go. Runway 1.
JetBlue 516, hold short of 01.
We're holding short.
Affirmative. Hold short of 01 for traffic, JetBlue 516.
Oh, there's the traffic right there. Ah, dang, if I would have got a little sooner, if I would have maybe, dang, we could have got the delay thing. If I just would have stopped, if I would have not rambled. Could have got in. Oh well. Got a Southwest behind us. Nice touchdown.
JetBlue 516, runway 01, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 01,
We're lining
JetBlue
up.
516.
So they changed the logistics, or the logic of taxiing as well for the active. They won't clear you for departure until they've completely cleared the runway. I never had problems with that before. So it's interesting.
JetBlue 516, Washington Tower, wind 240 at 5, runway 1, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 1, cleared for takeoff, JetBlue 516.
Let's go flying.
Southwest
Airspeed is alive, all good. It's a bit breezy here.
Southwest 781, runway 01, line up and wait.
Boy, I can't keep center line.
and wait. Runway 01, Southwest 781.
Need to build some more speed up here. Alright, positive rate showing up now. And now we have some positive rate of climb. Gear going on it. Good, looking good. Let's swing on over. We don't want to hit anything or get shot down by the government.
JetBlue 516, contact Potomac departure. See you.
Potomac.
Contact
Potomac.
Potomac departure.
Potomac.
JetBlue 516, take care. Potomac departure.
Potomac.
JetBlue 516, 700 feet.
Something got changed there too. Alright, going up to flap 2.
Potomac departure, radar contact.
Potomac.
Maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180, JetBlue 516.
Isn't it Potomac? Potomac. Alright, climb lever. Nose down just a little bit. Okay, maintaining our rate of climb. All looking grand. DC is beautiful as ever. It's a little gloomy out. Swinging on over to the left a little bit. Kind of just following this river on out.
Potomac departure, Southwest 781.
Potomac. I don't know why I find that so funny.
Potomac departure, radar contact, climb maintain 16,000 feet.
Maybe it's been wrong before, now it's correct.
Climb maintain 16,000 feet.
Alright, flaps are up.
781.
And let's go ahead and throw AP on. Alright, let's see, what am I missing here? Most happen during using SimRate can, and SimRate also messed up 2020 sometimes, depending on the plane. How does this work and integration with Msfs? So it's not integrated within it per se. So Flight Sim uses a thing called SimConnect. It's an external way that applications can get data from it. So airspeed and altitude and location, all that kind of stuff. So it uses that information to allow you to virtually talk to ATC. So it's its own external application, but it works great. One-time purchase, $30. Have the option for premium characters if you'd like to, and get the voice hearing there was free.
JetBlue 1954 Potomac departure, radar contact.
That voice is premium.
14,000.
Climb and maintain 14,000, JetBlue 1954.
Career mode, it kind of does, yeah. So you do have to still use the default ATC in the career mode because that's the way Asobo has made it work. There is a poll or someone posted on their official forum that is asking Microsoft to allow us to use external ATC programs like Beyond ATC FS HUD. But currently, you do have to use the internal, but you can use FS HUD and Beyond ATC to communicate. We're climbing up to 18. So the only thing that really matters with the default stuff in the career mode is that you need to use, you have to follow the instructions that they gave you for departure and landing. Outside that, you can do what you want, the flight plan. It'll be interesting to see when Beyondatc integrates the LLM. Yeah, so that's coming soon. That's coming soon. Their note said that will be the next update that will be available for the experimental branch, or whatever branch it was. Alright, landing lights are off. I'm excited for it. I didn't think I was going to be as excited as I am. But you bet your butt, once it comes out, stream or video, and both. Or both. I think it's going to be awesome. It might finally shut up some people who are like, it's not really AI, you know, AI ATC. And you know, I was part of that crowd that was like, it's not real AI, you know, it's on rails. And as I've listened to real ATC, as I've talked to real world commercial pilots, more so, I think that's where this obviously is with IFR flying. As I've talked to all these people and watched videos and listened to audio, like the same words and the same phrases are spoken consistently over and over and over again. So on rails is really what ATC is for IFR flying, and the LLM will open the doors for the VFR flying. We know how it works. It's terrible. I was really excited about the built-in stuff. Like, I know Asobo didn't touch it much, but wasn't there supposed to be a way for you to import your voice and have it talk, you know, when you're talking as the pilot, it would use your voice? I thought that was an option, and that never made it out on launch date, or maybe it's coming or something. I know another program recently launched that feature, but I thought it was going to be built into 2024, which I'm sure the other program just stole that from.
Jazz 783, contact Washington Center 134.15.
You know, so I was watching Kip's stream the other day, and they were having conversations about
JetBlue 516, contact Washington Center 132.55. Have a good one.
they were having conversations about
Washington Center 132.55,
reviewers and whatnot,
JetBlue 516.
and how the only way you should trust a reviewer is if they also have criticism to talk about a product, right? Because if they're saying anything, if they're only saying positive things, there's a chance that they got bought out, right? And it's fine that they got things for free. You know, if you get things for free and you want to review it, that's cool, right? As long as in that clause there isn't something saying that you can only talk about positive stuff, not negative stuff. You know, that was, I remember when the influencers all went to the Grand Canyon and got to try out a version of 2024 and then started doing reviews on it and stuff like that. A lot of the talks that were coming out was that there wasn't any negativity being spoken. And then 2024 launches and you're like, maybe there was truth to that. Maybe there was truth to that. So like, so anyways, so in Kip's stream, you know, talking about that, there have been a couple recent streamers who have been using another ATC program, and there hasn't been any negativity talk or criticism talk about it. And the question mark has been, have they been bought out? Have they been paid, you know, without using the paid sponsorship and stuff? You know, I don't do paid sponsorships on my channel. I don't think I ever will do paid sponsorships on my channel. If someone wants to send me a free stuff, which I've gotten in the past, I'm happy to review it, but I will also give my honest opinion on something. And even when I used, you know, all three of these ATC programs, as I've used all of them, I have spoken about the positives and negatives of each one. I have never said, now this is the perfect one. There are opportunities with every single thing in life. Everything. And it's important to be open and critical about that kind of stuff, because the only way a program or whatever it be can get better is if it knows its opportunities, right? So we look at beyond ATC. Well, you know, that taxi instructions, it was definitely off. That's an opportunity. You know, this last patch grew something up with that logic.
United 510, contact
FS HUD has issues sometimes with vectors. The developer reached out to me, saw my stream, saw the video. Actually, it was a video he saw. He saw the video, and he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, you know, I'm working on the vectors. I'm looking at it. Let's, you know." So we end up working together on that vector, and we're looking at real-world charts, real-world flights to get things to work out better. And so he fixed the vector situation, and the vectors have been substantially better ever since that stream, or that video. And I told him I was going to go back and revisit it so that people know that was a one-time kind of thing. And that is super important. I understand, like, developers, you know, coders, whatnot, they may not be the customer-facing personality that you'd want. They may be critical of their stuff. You know, it's their baby, it's their software, it's the thing they made. I get that part. I made software 20 years ago, and I understand that philosophy, that thought process. But I also was very open to, if there's an issue, or if there's a way to do something better, to be open and willing to listen to that communication, and not just say, "Nope, you're done, you're out," or "Nope, you're wrong." That door needs to be open. That open door policy needs to be open, especially in a small community like what we have in Flight Sim. It is super important. Whether we're talking about ATC, whether we're talking about planes, scenery, Asobo themselves, look at how open and transparent Asobo has been with their development streams. You know, they put out those, what is it, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, their developer streams, and then they have another stream, then they stream, you know, for fun. Like, they have been very open and transparent. That is huge. That is super important to have. They're willing to make adjustments and changes based on what we as the community provide in feedback. Now, they don't do it as fast as we like. They don't get it out, you know, with a latest patch as we would like. But you know what? There are a lot of people using this sim, and it's on all kinds of different PCs, and it's on, you know, the Xbox as well. So they have to make sure what they push out is going to work day one. And that's why with the first sim update 1 that we're going to get here soon, it's going to be rolling out into a beta first, an open beta. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. One thing I'd like, and I don't know if they could do it, but with their open betas that they have for the sim updates, if they could have a way to install both base sims, and maybe now with the cloud they can do it easier, but one that's, you know, if you really want to do some testing, you can jump in there. But if you just want to go out and fly on a stable platform, you can use that one without having to uninstall you know, the beta version. That'd be cool to have. I have a feeling Beyondatc has a bigger market share. Oh yeah, Beyondatc. It'd be interesting to know the numbers, but yeah, I agree with you, Fry. I'm sure it's substantially larger than the other ones. I do hope that FS HUD can get some more users. They have a great platform. The developer's been super open and great to work with.
Contact Washington Center 132.525. JetBlue 516, have a good day.
I have a hard enough time just dealing with the standard ATC, let alone putting my voice in it.
274 for flight level 370.
I like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I understand. I wouldn't use my voice in it as well. FS HUD is $37 US, I think. 36. I was trying to find it on the website before, but I couldn't find it, the price tag, because you have to. There's a weird way. You have to make an account first and then you buy the license. That's kind of weird. But I think I found it on another website. Yeah, FS Elite had it at one point. 35. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 37 or so US dollars. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Yeah, so about $37. The thing that it's nice to have both of them. It is very nice to have both of them. They are very different, yeah. They are. FS HUD does a really good job, I feel, with this traffic right now. Beyondatc has really good traffic as well, but I feel like FS HUD's just a little bit better with the way the planes are moving. Maybe not the animation so much. I think Beyondatc has really good animation with that. Like I said earlier, like the vectors, sometimes the vectors and tax instructions are sometimes better in FS HUD, but they're also sometimes better in Beyondatc. I prefer the voices of Beyondatc. I like that with FS HUD, you have more choices of your co-pilot voices, whereas Beyondatc, for the free ones, I think there's 5 or 6. FS HUD has like 20 probably, all kinds of different accents. I can't seem to get traffic to work properly in any of them, really. Like it's not showing.
Washington Center, JetBlue 1691. Good day. Flight level 284.
FS HUD, you do need to have models for that to work. Beyondatc, you do not need to know. You don't need to have models. I don't believe you need to have the models in that. That you should be able to just flip on a switch and it works. Go into settings and then turn traffic on. And then you can do models all alone. What caught my attention is that ATC is not saying tree instead of 3. How did you accomplish that, please? I didn't do anything. That's all default. You put it in the folder, but it's still not. So in
Southwest 2370, flight level 211.
In FS HUD, there's the external. Okay, well, hold on. Now, are you using with FS HUD? Are you using 2020 or 2024? Do you drop it into the community folder once you have Beyondatc, or does it just connect automatically? It should connect automatically. You don't need to run injectors or anything with Beyondatc. You just drop it on in and it should work. Now, in so with FS HUD, 2024 is really flunky, and the reason why is because the live traffic is broken kind of with 2024. So you have to have in 2020. I don't want to do it now because it might break the flight. But if you go into settings, you have to turn on real world traffic in 2024. That is super important because it has to get the data. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can use an injector. So you can use the FLTSL injector to inject the traffic, and then that should all work fine. But if you want to use just the base real-world information from 2024, you have to turn on traffic in 2024. AI traffic is currently broken, so it has to be live traffic. And the live traffic is also broken. So depending on when you get in and when the Asobo servers are working perfect, that might start working. Yeah, so if you want to have it flawless, like it is in 2020, You need to use an injector right now at 2024 until Asobo fixes it. That's an Asobo problem. That's not an FS HUD problem.
Contact Washington Center 24775. JetBlue 516.
Yeah, I found that out too. Because I would get it to show up.
516.
And then,
353 for flight level 370.
so initially what was happening with me is I can get traffic to show up, but the problem is that they're all static planes for the most part. And then the gates would like keep on going back and forth connecting to the plane, right? And I was like, okay, something's wrong here. Eventually I figured out that it is the live traffic that was causing problems, because it is flawless in 2020. Yep, run it as usual. Yep. So then disable, turn off real-time traffic in 2024. Run the injector like usual. And then in the settings for FS HUD, I think it's external. There are those like 3 little buttons there. There's the type of injector you're doing. You can just check all 3 of them and have them all labeled. Doesn't matter. And then it will inject the traffic. Yeah, hopefully it works for you.
JetBlue 516, Washington Center, expect Roebuck 3, runway 33 left.
Roebuck 3, 33 left, cool. Expect runway 33 left, Roebuck 3, JetBlue 516. Cool, alright, so, do I have, let's go over here. And let's go to Navigraph. And we're going to Boston. And we're going to go into, what am I looking for? Arrival. We're due, nope, I want starred, here we go. Alright, Roebuck 3. I hope they add that, I said this the other day, but I hope they add so you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in. I like that from the iFly. Okay, Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 33. So we're going to come in this way. And 6,000 is going to be our minimums for our descent. Cool.
Brickyard 4555, contact Washington Center 125.45. Have a good day.
Well, that's not right. Hold on. No, 33 left's up here.
Contact Washington Center 125.45.
So 33 left, exit to the left. I don't know where JetBlue parks, so we'll figure that out. Let's go back here so I do this right.
Washington Center,
Okay, so we're going to come in here
flight level 216.
and get vectored in for the arrival. This is 4. I've been doing 4 so much recently.
Washington Center, copy.
And we have minimums here of 216, so let's go ahead and start putting in our arrival information. Alright, so 216 for the minimums. QNH is 30.02. Temperatures are currently 02. And the wind is 340 at 8. Okay. We're all set up for the approach.
JetBlue 516, descend via Roebuck 3 arrival, Logan Airport landing, runway 33 left, altimeter 30.
Wow, we got an early descent.
Descend via Roebuck 3 arrival. Logan Airport landing runway 33 left. Altimeter 3002, JetBlue 516.
I'm gonna wait a little bit. That's a little bit early. We just got top of climb. Either something's wrong or there are a lot of people late for their flight. If it's not too personal, would you please tell us about your flight training experience? Oh man, so it's honestly, it's all content creators and then real world pilots on YouTube. That's where my trainings come from. All honesty. I've watched a lot of YouTube, I watched a lot of streamers on Twitch, and yeah, and then I taught myself, you know, reading other manuals and whatnot. So when a new plane comes out, I'll start there. When a new plane comes out that I am not very familiar with, I'll go to YouTube and look at cold and darks. And I'll get the base information of how to get the plane up and going. Once I get the plane up and going, then I'll start figuring out how these dudes work, right? How to program the flights. And once I know how to do that, I understand how the autopilot system works, I'm then comfortable and I make my own flow. So I'll show you an example of a flow I have. This is my startup flow.
Southwest 2370.
So here's an example of my flow to start up the A320 1921. Right, so I'll turn on the batteries, externals, pumps, navs, crew, etc. This will be enough stuff to get me going if I, haven't flown this plane in a very long time. I have one for the 777, right, which is a little more complex, as you see here. The MD-80, which is even more complex. I have the 300. I think I have a CRJ. Yeah, here's CRJ. So I have these flows that I use, and it just helps me also go down. So there's a guy named Fabio, Flying Fabio, who no longer streams because he's doing real-world instruments training stuff, instructor. But he said, make sure you follow a consistent direction. So for me, external power, batteries. Go up here, do those things. Come on down here, supply. Come on down here, do the lights. Keep going this way, come back around this way. Once I'm down here at the start of the APU, I then know I can go on down here and mess with this guy. Once I have this guy initially set up, I know I can then go over here and do that. Then I can come back down here, finish it up here, set my autopilot, ATC, back up. So I just have a nice flow. And that, he said that's super important to have so you're consistent. Obviously in the real world they use their checklists. But it's a sim, and I want to have realistic but not like extreme. I don't do all the testing to make sure all that works. It's important if you have failures set on for realistic, but I don't have them enabled. So I like to have some fun. Hopefully it helped a little bit.
Contact New York Center
How to fix Msfs is broken.
516, have a good one.
2024 is broken?
New York Center, JetBlue 516, descending via Roebuck 3, flight level 370.
JetBlue 516, New York Center. Good day, descend. Maintain 6,000 feet, altimeter 3020.
So I think they fixed the top of descent stuff. Or, yeah, top of descent. I was talking about that on the last stream, that it seemed like the logistics there were kind of broken. My goal, though, is to share knowledge with the community, because I've learned a lot and I want to pass it on. And I want to try to make it as simple as possible, because not everyone wants to do the super in-depth kind of stuff. They want just enough to go, and that's what I'm trying to teach, at least. So this morning a video popped up which was how to use the EFB, how to do a real-world flight, import it into the EFB in flights in 2024. We're not talking about the weights, we're not talking about fuel, that kind of stuff. It's just enough to get a flight plan into the system. Sometime soon I'm going to do a complete flight from beginning to end, broken up into videos, how to set up everything in the default init-builds A320. So from cold to dark, all the way to cold and dark at the arrival airport. And all breaking down every single step of how to do things. So hopefully that will be beneficial for some people. But the thing to keep in mind is, real world pilots, commercial pilots, airliner guys, people, they typically are in the same type aircraft for a very long time. There's like a flickering going on here. I'm not sure what that is. It's on the stream too, so I was like, oh, is that my monitor? But no, there's like a weird flicker. And now it's gone. Must be DLSS. So yeah, there's like a... They stick to that same plane for a very long time. And so they master that. Hey, thank you for that $10. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anything I get from the channel goes right back into the channel. So new aircrafts, new scenery, new hardware, whatever it be. So I do appreciate that.
Descending via Roebuck 3, level 256.
And so
JetBlue
they get
2966
used to that plane.
New
They're
York Center,
consistent on
radar
that
contact.
plane, right? They're not jumping around like us simmers will jump around all the time.
JetBlue 516.
So we have a plane
Contact New York Center 121.
not too far away from us.
Contact New York Center 121.125, JetBlue 516.
Somewhere out here.
New York Center, JetBlue 516.
I remember when I first started
Descending
using
via Roebuck
FS
3,
HUD,
flight level 366.
and I would hear the traffic, like they're talking, but I couldn't see them.
JetBlue 516 New York Center. American 1467.
Okay, I do appreciate the $10. That was very generous. Do appreciate it.
Contact Boston Center 132.3, American 1467.
All right, so we are making our descent now into Boston. Runway 33 left. So we should get vectors on this approach. I can't wait for my the McDo and the FCU to arrive. Will be so much. Yeah, I have the FCU and the EFIS, and I'm gonna hold off on the McDo. I'm saying that now, but once I see other people get it, you know, okay. So when the Max was first announced, and then Asobo announced that they're working on a Max that was supposed to be, you know, their top in-house built aircraft. Have a meeting? All right, sounds good. We got probably another, I don't know, 45 minutes or so on this flight. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so when iFly announced that they're working on the Max, and Asobo announced that they're gonna have a free Max, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna hold off and I'll get the free Max. I'm not gonna pay money for the Max, right? I have a great 737 from PMTG, and then I started watching more videos, early access people having the ability to play with it, and hearing the sounds and looking at the visuals and some of the extra features. I was like, oh boy. And then I was in the Discord, and it was announced that it's available as an early access kind of thing, experimental, whatever you want to call it. And I caved and got it, and you know, I streamed that morning. I did a short hop in the Max. And the thing was, I had people. I think Fry was in here that day, P2 was in here that day, to help give me some tips of how to do things properly in the Max, because there's a couple things that are slightly different than, let's say, the 737, 700, 800, 900. But I had a flow of how to do things, and thankfully I also was flying the 737 for a while. And then 2024 came out, and you know, you have the Max in it. Unfortunately, it's not very great. So Phoenix came out with the 19, 20, and 21, and I got super excited. And I was like, all right, cool, I finally have a really good airliner to jump into. So jumped into back into the Phoenix, and it took me a little bit to get used to it again, because I hadn't flown the Phoenix for so long. But I had my little checklist, and once I got comfortable back with my flow again, I was able to not throw away, but put it on the side, the checklist, and just kind of go off my flow. Once in a while, that flow doesn't work, like the last stream. For some reason, because I was yammering about whatever, I forgot to click something. I don't think I started the APU, that's what it was. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I clicked on the bleed, turned off the external power, and then all the power kicked off. So, again, sometimes things don't work that way. You can use the EFIS MCDU with other planes using MobiFlight, and that's why I just had to buy it. So, the McDo, I would like to know when the McDo is going to work with MobiFlight. Because I do use MobiFlight for the... I don't even use the Sim Pro, what's it called? Sim Kit Pro, whatever it's called, from WinWing. I just use MobiFlight.
JetBlue 2966, New York Center, copy.
And yeah, it works in pretty much every plane.
Contact Boston Center 132.3.
I own the
JetBlue
777 and the 737 from PMDG for 2020.
Boston Center JetBlue 516 descending
Yeah, it's super
via
bad in
Roebuck
2024 for sure.
Flight level 290.
I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that we see either PMDG or the iFly soon. Keyword in there, soon, in 2024. I fly to Phoenix most of the time since it's working like it should, but in 2024, or like it should in 2024, but I really want a better 330 and 350. Yeah, it'd be cool. When I get it. Yeah, I haven't really looked, because it's not out. Well, it's out for early people, but it's not like it's not available to the general public. So I'm just kind of looking really quick through the Moby Flight Discord. And I'm not seeing anything in there yet. But I'm sure once someone gets it working, there'll be a profile you can just drop in. It will be interesting to see how people, if you can make like the Airbus one work with Boeing planes and Boeing's work in the Airbus, if that's possible. Assuming it will be. It's just buttons. It's just key prompts.
Contact Boston Center 128.1, JetBlue 516.
And so when for the EFIS, not the EFIS, for the FCU, I was a late buyer of that as well. And the reason was because I have a Honeycomb Bravo, so it already has an autopilot section, which is really, really good with GA planes and some other ones. I think it works flawlessly in the PMTG planes. But I was like, man, it'd be cool to have that LCD screen. Or LED, I think it's LED. It'd be really cool to have that. It'd be really, really nice. And then there's a couple little things like the switching from the increments of 100 to 1000. Being able to pull on certain switches. That's really, really cool. So eventually I caved and got the FCU. And then got it working with the Boeing planes and the E-Jet, CRJ, etc. Yeah, it just became available 12 hours ago. Just like when I had to mess around with my Stream Deck. I couldn't get a Bravo from anywhere. Yeah, so I got like the Bravo. What was it? I think it's because I got the Alpha first, and then I got the Bravo afterwards. And the place I ordered the Bravo from. Okay, check that. This story is crazy. The place I ordered the Bravo from accidentally sent me two. I got one that showed up to I think I sent it to my work. It showed up, right? Brought it home, having fun, whatever. And then like a couple days later, a second one shows up. And I'm so confused. So I emailed them. I emailed their customer service and I said, hey, I only ordered one. I only got charged for one. But another one showed up at my doorstep. If you send me a label, I'll send it back to you. Their response was, oh, we see you only placed order for one. Do you want to be refunded for this? Yeah, we show you ordered only one, and only been changed or only charged for one. And I was like, well, I understand that. So I responded back and saying, I get that. Yeah, I only ordered one, and only got charged for one, but I have a second one from you. Do you want it back? And they never responded back to me. So I sold it on eBay for like 70% off or something. It was like super, I was like, well, I'm gonna make a little bit of money off it. I'd be stupid not to. but I'm gonna give someone a hell of a deal. So I throw up on eBay for like whatever, $100 or something. Made some money. But hey, I was trying to be honest. I was very honest with the company. Funny thing, actually, around the same time, maybe it was because COVID and all these companies were shipping so much, but my wife had ordered me, she ordered me the Millennium Falcon, the one of the Lego ones, not the super expensive one, but like, you know, one that's like $200. She had ordered me one of those for Christmas, and it was supposed to have shown up. It was delayed and all that jazz, and it said it was delivered, but we never got it, and she had to send her a job. And so she emailed Lego and said, hey, I never got it. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry, let me send you another one. So they sent another one.
Delta 2069, contact Bradley, approach 22905.
And the first one eventually showed up. The first one eventually showed up, and the second one did as well. So she emailed Lego and she's like, hey, the first one did show up. I apologize. Who do I send the second one back to? And they said, I just keep it. Hey, thanks for the subscription. Welcome in, Jack. Or sorry, Jim. Welcome in, Jim Smith. And they just said keep it. And so we gave it to a friend. We gave it to one of our friends for Christmas. I was just blown away. Isn't this hard to play? No, well, yeah. To get into it initially, it could be very difficult. But, you know, like anything, practice makes perfect. Understanding how certain controls work, absolutely.
Good day, Boston Center, JetBlue 516. Descending via Roebuck 3.
You want the $1,000 one? Oh man, I do too. But yeah, I don't have the money for that. I went pretty hard on Legos about a year ago. I still have. Let me count right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're smaller sets, but I have like 5 sets I have not put together yet. I think they're all from Christmas. I think they're all from Christmas from a year or two ago. But anyways, I went really hard a couple years, 2 years ago or so. And I have the space shuttle, I have the small Falcon, I have the Concorde, the lander, I have a bunch of Star Wars ones. I should do a video of that. I'll do a video of my Lego sets on the channel at some point. I got a bunch of the little helmets, Star Wars ones. 5 of those. Yeah, I should do that. I got Prime. I got the Ecto 1.
JetBlue 2769, contact Boston, approach
Batmobile.
0.6.
The DeLorean for Back to the Future. I have way too many Lego sets. Let's see. I ordered a Shark vac. $700, then canceled it, and they still sent it to me. That's awesome. Like, did you get refunded? Do you have to have the flight joystick and mouse, or can you? So it's very difficult with the keyboard and mouse. If anything, I recommend at least a controller, like an Xbox or PlayStation controller, just some, you know, affordable $20 USB controller or something you can plug in. You can certainly do it with a keyboard and mouse. It's not going to be a great experience, though. Alright, we're capped right now at flight level 210. And it will start us down again shortly. And then here's our arrival 33 left. Yeah, but it wouldn't be very fun. Yeah, exactly. What joystick throttle would you recommend? Not the expensive ones. So, there's a couple things you can do. So I have the expensive stuff. I have the Honeycomb, Bravo, and Alpha. You certainly don't have to do that. I do recommend them, though. They're incredible. But I recently bought the Wing joystick, the side stick, and it's really good. I don't use it right now. I did for a while, and then I switched over back to my Honeycomb Alpha, because I seem to like joysticks. And I link you to the Wing site, but it's currently broken because they just had a new launch today. But I think it's, I don't remember what the price is, 80, 90 bucks, something like that. It's really, really good. If you don't want to go with that, you can certainly go with the, there's a Thrustmaster. There's a couple of Thrustmaster ones that are really affordable, like, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks maybe less. Yeah, the Thrustmaster TCA side stick is really, really good. I just sold that one actually on eBay, my old one, for a couple bucks. Since I have the Windwing one now. Yeah, but you certainly don't need to spend, like, I'll be honest, when I was younger, with Flight Sim, 98 and 2000, 2001, I was using, well, I had the Microsoft Sidewinder joystick, but I also had another cheap one. And then I took a couple years off from flight simming, probably like a decade from flight simming. When I got back into it, I just bought the Thrustmaster. Is it Thrustmaster or is it Logitech? There's a HOTAS setup. Anyways, it's a joystick and it has the throttle movement, and it was like 60 or 70 bucks. So I had bought that, and that kept me content for a very long time, for 2-3 years. And honestly, it wasn't until 2020 launched where I felt I wanted to get something better. So I actually tried, I don't remember what the brand is, but I tried a Cessna joystick. Or not joystick, sorry, Cessna yoke. But I didn't like it, so I sent it back. And then I think around that time, that's when I got the Thrustmaster side stick. I think. And I used that for a very long time. T-Flight HOTAS 1 Microsoft Flight Simulation. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one for sure. Yep. It was the black one, though. It wasn't. I think the Flight Sim one is a white one, but it was a black one, so it was like the OG one. They're not great, but they do the job. If you're just learning to get into the sim and you don't know for sure if this is going to be something you're going to be interested in or have the time, it's a great way to get into the sim, for sure. Alright, so we're doing really good. Just past flight level 180. It's pretty quiet here in Boston area. It's a little blurry on the ground. So I chose this livery. My dad's a Boston fan. And get this, okay, get this. My dad is a Boston Celtics fan. He was not born in Boston. He's born in Chicago. He's lived in the Chicago area. Well, not born in Chicago, but he's lived in the Chicago area for, I don't know, most of his life. 90% of his life. He's gone. When Jordan was playing, he had gone to Michael Jordan games at the United Center in Chicago. But yet he's a Boston Celtics fan. I was born in Chicago. I live in the Chicago area. I have to be a Chicago Bulls fan. You have to. That's like sin. That's like being a New Yorker and not being a Knicks fan. It's a sin. I can afford 200. I can afford 200. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. The Turtle Beach ones are supposed to be pretty good too. I have the Turtle Beach rudder pedals. But there's the Turtle Beach, what's it called? Oh, shoot. The Velocity 1. That's like 400 bucks, but... So there's that one. I'll link it in the cart, or in the chat. So there's that one there. But they also have a joystick, too, that has the throttle on it. The Velocity 1 joystick. Yeah, it's 130. The flight stick. Yeah, Velocity 1, yep. So yeah, there's the Turtle Beach flight stick. So it's a joystick, but it has one throttle switch on it. So you can use that. It also has like one you can program for gearing. It has all kinds of buttons. If you get through their website, you can save 10%. Or you can buy it from like Best Buy or something. But that's supposed to be really good. For an all-in-one kind of package. I actually looked at it. I looked at it before I got the WinWing. But I ultimately look at it and was like, well, I don't need the throttle stuff because I have a honeycomb.
Contact Boston approach, JetBlue 516.
Oh, the quadrant is bad? Okay.
Boston approach, JetBlue 516, 13,600 with information Tango.
JetBlue 516, Boston approach.
Alright, we're coming on in. We're almost into Boston.
Visual approach, runway 33 left.
Still 33 left,
Altimeter
looking good.
3002. Expect the visual approach, runway 33 left, JetBlue 516.
Alright, we're flying over where I will be this summer. Rhode Island. Good old Providence. The Flight Sim Expo will be taking place somewhere in this area. Actually, it might be right there. Might be. It's in the convention center. I did a lot of research yesterday. How much is the honeycomb? The yoke is what, 200? I think it's 199. The quadrant is 250 maybe. They're a bit pricey. But keep this in mind, if you do the honeycomb, you're going to probably need to get a rudder pedals as well. And the Turtle Beach ones are 200 maybe? I can't remember now. But there are much higher quality stuff you can get. Well, I shouldn't say much higher quality, more expensive stuff. I think the honeycomb stuff, like the Bravo has issues, has issues sometimes with there's a really thin wire, and it might stretch too much and then break. So it happened with me, but I was able to solder it up, and this is after 3 years of usage. This happened, so I don't know if they fixed that or not. The yoke though, the yoke's been flawless. I haven't had any problems with the yoke. And I've gotten so used to the yoke because it has light switches, and then when you're flying in GA stuff, you have the avionics and the master battery switches. There's a key switch as well. There's so many little buttons and switches and all this stuff. Oh, it's great. It's great. Takes up space though, so keep that in mind too. Depending on what you decide to do, you need to make sure you have the room for it. Lights coming on. Yes, Newsky does work in 2024. There was an update that came out a couple days after the launch of 2024. I've seen those people that do those racing games. They have stuff rumbling, bouncing up and down. Yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. I have what's called a butt kicker. The butt kicker, it's an app. It's a base per se, and it connects to the bottom of your chair, and you can do other programs. So I use a thing called SimHub that provides the audio to it. But anyways, it rumbles. So when I'm touching down, I'll feel a little bit of rumble. Nothing crazy. I have it set lower, which is really nice. But there's also one from it's called SimHaptics from, can't think of their name right now, but that's another one you can use. It's like $15 or so that uses the rumbling with the butt kicker or other kind of kicker things like that. But yeah, it adds just another level of immersion. Yeah, butt kicker is freaking awesome. I love the butt kicker. Just put in a 200-inch projection screen. Nice. My dad has a projector screen. He watches a lot of sports. So he has like 8 games going up on 8 games showing at once. I don't know how does Flight Sim work with the projector screen. I suppose it's fine. All right, looking good. We are not too far from the airport. We can get our LS on. Alright, put those landing rates in. What do you think? What do we think we're going to do? Full disclosure, my landing rates are typically between 200 and 300. But also full disclosure, if you're not here from the beginning, I haven't flown the A320 for a bit. I've been flying the 319. So the 320 is slightly longer. Slightly longer. So let's see if my brain will compute properly. Okay, so we are expecting the visual approach. So some point, maybe even I would say somewhere between here, we'll probably get our vectored in. And so let's go take a look at this arrival real quick now. So here we are with the arrival, and we have the Benin, and the Cohas, and Nimoy. Is this Nimoy from Star Trek? Is he from Boston? Leonard Nimoy? So we got Benny, Cohas, and Nimoy. So 4,000 at Benny, or Benin. Oh, just Ben. No, it's Ben. I thought there was an I. So Ben. Send a hug to Brazil. Absolutely. Thanks for coming on in. Welcome in. Altimeter's looking good, 3000. It's awfully quiet. It's what? Almost 11 in Boston. It's awfully quiet on the ATC.
Boston approach, Brickyard 5873, good day. 14,500 feet with information Tango. Brickyard 5873, Boston approach, altimeter tree 002.
Alright, here we go.
Approach runway 4 right.
So our charts are saying
altimeter
at POG,
3002, expect the visual
we're going to
approach
expect the,
runway 4
the
right.
vectors.
Brickyard
Expect
5873.
vectors to final course at BOG. So BOG is right up here. I'm expecting it sometime in between here, honestly. But 6,000 is our cap at BOG, so we can't go any lower or higher unless ATC instructs us. So we have to kind of stick here. We have our approach speeds set, so that's been activated here. So activate approach phase is already in that. We can see here by our speed. We're 21.7 nautical miles from the airport. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on our speed brakes, arm that. Oh, clouds kicking in. So we can see here speed brakes are armed, so that's all grand. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more on the map. So again, I'm using the EFIS, so I can use physical switches here. So if you're looking right here, you can see that this switch moves. Right? So I'm moving it physically with the EFIS I have from WinWing. There we go. And we should get some vectors shortly. Uh-oh. Something happened. The comms changed by itself. Who are we talking to?
Towamek approach. JetBlue
Oh,
516, good day 6,200 with information Zulu.
JetBlue 516.
Okay.
Towamek approach.
Tow.
3020. Expect the visual approach.
I was wondering why it's so quiet. I think the comms changed automatically.
Altimeter
Or,
3020.
they changed.
Expect the visual approach runway 33 left, JetBlue 516.
Alright, we may have a screwed up approach here.
JetBlue 516, turn left, heading 335, intercept the 33 left localizer, descend, maintain 2,400 feet, altimeter 3002, vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 335. Intercept the 33 left localizer. Descend, maintain 2,400 feet. altimeter 3002, JetBlue 516.
Alright, so we have the localizer armed. We're switching over to 335, descending to 2,400. Yeah, so there's something that's goofing up with my setup. I don't know what it is exactly. They said 335. I'm going to switch over to a little bit more because it, it goofed up. Not Beyondatc, the sim. There we go. Localizer's been captured. I'm going to throw the glide slope armed as well. Yeah, there's something that changes my comms, and I don't know if it's a bug with the flight tracker I use with my Stream Deck, or if it's a flight sim issue, or if it's MobiFlight or something. Something randomly just changes my comms, and I didn't notice it until a little late. But thankfully, Beyondatc will figure things out pretty quick. Alright, so next will be switch over to tower, but that will be automatic. Localizer's looking good. We're 17 nautical miles out. Ground spoilers are armed. Landing lights are on. Okay, all looking grand here. Let's look at our arrival real quick again. So runway, oops, that's not the one I'm looking for. This one here. Runway 33 left. So we're looking to we'll probably exit November. We'll wait. We'll just cross November. Again, I don't know where JetBlue parks here. So we'll exit November, and then, depending on where we're supposed to go, we're either going to go left or right. Oh, what happened? So we'll kind of see, but November is what we're looking for. If not, Zulu will be fine as well. Alright, let's bring up our VS just a little bit because we're a little high. I'm sorry, a little low. Okay, Boston's out there in the distance, looking pretty good. I'm using the Fly Tampa Boston, and I don't remember who does the DC one.
JetBlue 516, airport is at your 12 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
We'll report
Whoops.
field in sight, JetBlue 516.
I clicked the wrong button. That's my bad.
JetBlue 516, field in sight.
JetBlue 516, cleared visual approach runway 33 left.
Cleared visual approach 33 left, JetBlue 516.
So even though we got the clearance for visual, you do always want to make sure your ILS, if available, or RNAV is programmed. And the reason is so you have a backup. You always want to have a backup. Okay, so we'll be intercepting the glide slope, which we just did. Perfect. So now the autopilot is in full effect here, bringing us on into Boston. I'm going to switch over to approach here. So now we're looking at our visuals on the approach. We can look here. We see this little diamond here. This purple diamond, right? Magenta. It's almost right on par what we need, right? And we see that right here. So these are exact same. This is telling us if we're too high or low, or right where we're supposed to be. But the diamond's in the middle here, between this yellow line, it means we're spot on. If it's here, it means we're too low. If it's here, it means we're too high. This line in the middle is telling us how are we on the runway, how are we lined up. So right now we're right in the middle, right? So the runway's out here in the distance, right there. We're centered right on it. The same right here with DQ. This green lines here is the same thing of what these are, but this is telling you where you're supposed to be heading towards. Okay, so you can see right now it's all centered. It means we're right on path. Now once I disable autopilot, you'll see things will be moving. This flight director, which is the green stuff here, it will move, and that's what we're supposed to be targeting to get on course. But we're currently on course. And let's bring out some more flaps. Gears coming down. We're 6 nautical miles out. Let's tell them we're ready to land.
Contact Boston departure. Have a good day.
Contact Boston departure. JetBlue 2895.
I'm a little late on the flaps here. I lost track of what I was doing because I was talking too much. Flaps coming down to 3.
516, wind tree 55 at 8. Runway tree left, cleared to land.
And flaps full.
Runway 33 left, cleared to land. JetBlue 516.
All right, we got a clearance to land. AP's coming off. Pilot has the aircraft. So now I'm going to follow the PAPI lights out here. I'm also going to follow this magenta diamond. I'm going to pull up just a little bit. As we're decelerating, the plane's wanting to nose down. So I want to get back on path. You'd rather be a little bit high than low. Because remember, the plane has to adjust when it's coming in for the landing, so it's trying to bring in more thrust if need be. And when it brings in more thrust, it wants to pick up the nose. Okay, so now I'm just going to nose down just a little bit. With the Airbus, you don't need to give too much feedback into it because it is what they call fly-by-wire. And what fly-by-wire means is that the computer's doing all the calculations. So when you turn left, the computer's calculating it. And it's not like hydraulics, like in the Boeing plane, where you're manually doing it. This is all computer done. So it sticks to where it's supposed to do, where it's supposed to stick to, because it auto trims for you. So we're a little low again, so we're gonna bring up that nose. Okay, a little off course, so I'm going to recorrect. Got a little bit of a headwind. Bring down that nose again. Making small little adjustments. Remember not to overcorrect. Don't ever overcorrect. It's really easy to overcorrect in an Airbus. Okay, a little high, so we're going to bring nose down.
100 above.
Try to stay ahead of the plane. Got a plane taking off in the distance. I don't know if that's AI or if that's real, a real pilot, sim pilot.
Brickyard 4522, exit left at Romeo.
Exit left at Romeo, Brickyard 4522.
Kind of dangerous.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Flaring it a little bit. Hold it. Touchdown. Get that nose down. Beautiful. Reversers out. 221. I'll take it. It's been a long while since I've flown in the 320. I'll take a 221. Alright, November's coming on up here. Trying to maintain the center line here. Reversers are being stowed. I gotta adjust my sensitivity on my rudder pedals. Alright, slowing down. November's up here on the left.
JetBlue 516, exit left at Zulu.
They want us to go to Zulu, but we can go to November. It's fine.
516.
Alright, flaps coming on up. Spoilers are disarmed. Landing lights are off. And we are on November where we initially planned. Now, I don't know if we're going left or right or straight. But there's JetBlue right over there, so we might be right over here by our gate. Gate Charlie 36 is what we're expecting.
Boston Tower, Envoy 3446. Visual runway 4 right.
Envoy 3446.
Waiting
Boston
for a
Tower,
transfer.
Wind tree 55 at 8.
36
Runway 4 right, cleared to land.
Runway 4 right, clear to land. Envoy
Up on the left here.
3446.
How we're looking.
JetBlue 516, contact ground 121.9er.
Ground 121.9er, JetBlue 516.
So we got a bunch of JetBlues, so it looks like we're parking over there.
Alaska 537, ready to taxi to the active.
Alaska 537, runway 33 left, taxi via Charlie. Hold short, runway 4 left.
See if we
Runway
can
tree left,
see if we can
taxi
squeeze
via
in here.
Charlie. Hold short, runway 4 left. Alaska 537.
By the time we get to our gate,
JetBlue 516 request taxi
we'll get clearance to get to our gate.
JetBlue 516, gate Charlie 36, taxi via Alpha.
There we go.
Charlie 36 taxi via Alpha, JetBlue 516.
All right, 36 is where?
Brickyard 4522.
It might be this empty one right there.
Right at Mike. Continue taxi via Mike. Hold short. Runway 33 left. Cross runway tree right at Mike. Continue taxi via Mike.
Hold short runway tree left.
What do we got here? We got 34, 36. Oh, I missed it. All right, let's make a little turn here.
Cross runway 4 left at Charlie. Continue taxi via Charlie. Hold short runway 4 right.
Hopefully no one's behind me.
Cross runway 4 left at Charlie. Continue taxi via
No, we're all good. All right.
Hold short runway
Here's 36.
right. Alaska 537.
That's one thing I wish we could do in Beyond ATC is get our gate before we land. Because then we at least have an idea where we're parking. You can always request different gates.
Korean Air 092 Heavy, Boston ground, pushback and engine start approved, face east.
Alright, parking brake is set. Let's go over here, and we'll go to Phoenix, GPU, chocks, toggle jetway. Jetway's coming on over to us.
Cross runway tree left at Bravo. Continue taxi via Mike.
Good deal.
Kilo, Echo 1,
And external power is on. We're going to go ahead and go to normal here. Spoilers already been disarmed. And engines are off. Close our Newsky. Aw, what? 979? What? What happened? Alright, we'll close out of Beyond ATC as well. Alright, what did we do wrong here? Off center line for landing. That's a son of a gun. Yeah, I kind of felt I was a little off there. The wind was kind of messing with me a little bit. I was also overcorrecting a bit. How much were we off though? Acceptable range, distance for the threshold. We were 7.5. Well, geez, we were barely on the threshold with that too. Centerline deviance 235. Max centerline 546. Yeah, so we were a little off on that. Little off on it. That's okay. I'll take a 9. What was it? 979? I'll take it. Because look at what I'm doing for the month. 983. That's pretty good. Halfway through the month. Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Alright, well, I do appreciate everyone who was in today's stream. Really, really fun. This is a really cool flight. Boston, well, we left from DC, came over here to Boston. This beautiful A320 from Phoenix, using Beyond ATC. I do need to figure out that comm thing. Like I said, I do really need to take some time and figure out what's going on with that, to do some further research and see if other people have fixes potentially for it. Because that's really the only issue I have experienced in 2024 for the most part, especially since the servers have been fixed up. But it's a gorgeous sim. Runs really smooth for me. Right now, 90 FPS. If I can bring it up on the screen, I will try. Oh, not that button. It doesn't like to show up though. Yeah, NAs. But anyways, take my word, it's 89, 90 is what it's saying for me. Actually, I can do it the other way. Can't I show you on here? No, it's going to be NA still. I don't know why it does that. That's so weird. But either way, good FPS, good flights, a lot of fun. Again, do appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for the donation. It was super helpful and super beneficial for the channel. And next stream will probably be on Wednesday, although I kind of might do a late one again sometime this weekend, but we'll see how that works out. Again, thanks for watching. Great streams. New video up on the channel this morning. How do you program the built-in EFB in-flight sim 2024 for a real-world flight? Hopefully it helps those who are looking for it. Plenty of content on Beyond ATC and FS HUD on the channel, and some other little fun things on there. Got some cool plans coming up for the future for it, and we'll see you for the next flight. Take care.